Good morning. Happy Sunday, Cuzzo Gang. Cuzzo Gang. Good morning. Good morning. As promised, like I told y'all, couldn't go live today on this good Sunday morning to go over this beautiful slate of football and basketball, but I am up. It is currently, you hear me stuttering already. It's currently 2:30 in the morning. It's currently 2:30 in the morning, but as promised, even though I can't go live like I do Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m., I still want to do my part to help you guys find some gems today. So, again, we have 12 football games, I think 10 or 11 NBA games. So, we got a lot to go over. So, I'm going to get straight into it. But before I do, all I ask y'all is to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. So, every weekend when I can't go live on Twitch, y'all can get these full, unlive VODs, full start to finish. So again, let's get straight into it. I'm already ready. First football game loaded. If you new, up top, you can see at the top it say research guide. You might want to watch that so you can see how we navigate and how we research for our gems and props that we like for today. I'm not gonna really get too much into that because this video should be long enough itself, and I'm trying to keep it at a minimum. So let's get straight into it. First game on the slate we have is the Ravens at Pittsburgh. So again, it should be quicker today because I don't have the chat live on Twitch where I'm reading as I'm going. So I'm gonna try to get through these games fast as possible. And again, if you're new, all we are identifying is bright green spots on this right side where it say defense versus that position. Bright green mean that they're giving up way more in that prop than the person who they're playing against line is today. So again, it's simple. Boom. So all I'm looking for is bright green. So first spot that I see out the gate for bright green is Derrick Henry in this game. We got his bright green receptions. They're allowing 4 receptions to running back ones, 30 receiving yards. His line is 1.5 receptions. His receiving yards is 5.5. So out the gate, love this right here. So we got 1.5 at plus 182. You can get 3, which is what they allow 4. You can get 3 receptions at plus 470 on FanDuel. So you already got value in for 3 receptions today for Derrick Henry. If you want to max it to the 4, they actually have the 4 at 880. Plus 880 on FanDuel. Matter of fact, I have that on. There we go. Yeah, so 4. So this is a nice little ladder piece for Derrick Henry for 3 receptions and 4 receptions. Also, they're giving up 30 receiving yards to running backs. So his line is 4.5, which is which is the best odds is on Hard Rock or ESPN Bet. So again, we're just looking for the value spots. You can get 15 at plus 210 on ESPN Bets if you had that book. You can go as far as up to 20. Same book, ESPN Bets at plus 300. The only book I'm seeing right now that is giving us Derrick Henry's receiving yards. So just from looking at that, the best value would be in his receptions ladder today. Seeing that they're allowing up to 4 receptions a game to running back ones. So keep that in mind. So that's our first piece. Our second piece that I'm seeing bright green is Justice Hill. Steelers are allowing 13 yards rushing to the running back 2 position. His line is 6.5. He's averaging 12 yards rushing. They're giving up 13. So it don't hurt for you to see where 10 is at. Plus 155. It ain't the most value. You can go up to 15 and you won't. Anybody who be in the streams every day with me know I have a little thing where I try not to go over the average allowed. If I can get to plus 200 or better without going over the average allowed, I'm in good money. So I see they giving it up, but there ain't really no super value there. Next up, I wonder if I can get rid of long so I could take this. Nope. Okay, so that got to stay. So I don't really pay attention to this long part. Their longest reception, it ain't too many books that have it, but they do give up 59 yards receiving to the wide receiver 2, which is Rashad Bateman today. He's averaging 50. So I really love this line at 34.5. He averaged more than his line. Let me see if I go to the last 5 for him. Yeah, he's averaging more. He's averaging 60. They're giving up 59. So 34.5, that is a good spot to use as a straight bet or a parlay piece. But again, we want gems. So without going over 59 yards, let's see if we can get into the plus 200 range. You can get 50 at plus 215 on DraftKings. So now you're starting to get into that 2-to-1 odds is what we're always looking for. You can get 55, you can't get, and then they got 60, which you can, again, it's 1 yard, it's up to you, but you can't get 60 at plus 340. But you can, again, get this 50. You can get 50 yards at plus 215 on DraftKings today for Rashad Bateman receiving yards, seeing that he's in a good spot to should be able to cover, seeing that they're giving up almost 60 yards receiving to the wide receiver 2 spot. Okay, same. Okay, so Deontay Johnson, they're giving up 19 yards to the wide receiver 3 spot. He's averaging 25. So another line that I love. 11.5, he's averaging double that. They're giving them 19. So 11.5 is a good spot at minus 120, minus 110 on Bet365 for a straight piece or a 4-man plus 1,000. You can get 15. Okay, so most of these ain't gonna give you 15. And the next one you would have to go to is 20. So it's not no super value there as far as the gym, but I like his line. Next up is we want, like I said, bright greens. Okay, so Russell Wilson, they're giving up 314 yards to passing to quarterbacks. The Ravens are. His line is 232. So we could see like what they're giving up 314. So let's see where you could start getting the value at. The super value. You can start getting it at 275. 275, you getting it at plus 2. That's crazy. 275 yards is plus 275 on DraftKings today. You can still go up without going over that 314, 300. We at 550. So you got some value. It's some value today in Russell Wilson's passing yards starting at 275 and going up to 300. There is value here. Whether you using this for 2-3 leg plus 1,000s or just a straight ladder, this is a good ladder piece for Russell today. He's in a good spot to. He should be. You know, we always researching for potential, so he should be able to over exceed his line of 232 today, seeing that they have a weakness of giving up a lot of passing yards. Here we go. Najee Harris. So Ravens are giving up 30 yards receiving to the running back 1. He's averaging 14. His line is 9.5. Again, I tell you all the time, when both sides are green in the same prop, meaning he averaged more than his line, they're allowing more than his line. The actual line set for today should be a good spot for you if you want to run a straight bet or have a parlay piece. That's a given. But when you're looking at for the gyms, all you care about is the defensive side being bright green, which give you wiggle room to be able to go up like this in the alt line. So 20 yards receiving, plus 260 on ESPN bets. 25 yards receiving, plus 470 on FanDuel. There is some value in his receiving yards today, seeing that they're giving up 30 yards, and the next one is 40. So for 20 and 25 yards receiving today for Najee, there's some value here. Seeing that they're giving up 30 yards receiving, and we only at 20 and 25, and we in that 2-to-1 odds or higher. So keep that in mind. So there's value here in Najee's receiving yards today. We move. Okay, here we go. George Pickens. His line is 4.5 receptions. They're giving up 7 receptions to him, to his position, to the wide receiver 1, and 110 yards receiving. So they're giving up 7 receptions, 110 yards receiving. So let's see if we can get some value without going over 7. So you can get the actual 7 receptions at plus 270. He haven't had it these last couple games, which is always, I tell y'all, good for you when you're looking for value, because the book's going to set the line around what he averaged. Look, he averaged 4 in his last 5. Look what his line was, 4.5. It's always going to be around your average. But you can see that he get the targets. He's getting his targets, and that's something you want to pay attention to when you're looking for receptions or yards. So there is value in his 7 receptions today, which is what they allow the wide receiver 1s. Let's see if it's more value. Let me see. Put this back on 7 so I can see the plus 270. Okay. Now, his line is 70. You can start getting the value like as a gem at Oh, it would take up to 100. So 100 yards receiving is where you start to get that 2-to-1 odds, plus 270, plus 250, 110. And then 110 is at plus 370 and plus 350. So it would take you to 100 yards receiving for George Pickens today, minimum, to start getting those 2-to-1 odds where you considering you in that gym, those gym spots. Van Jefferson, wide receiver 2. So again, these are good spots because it's green on both sides. So his line is like receptions is 2, they're giving up 4. So he had 4 2 games ago, which is crazy. You can get 3 receptions for Van Jefferson at plus 320 on FanDuel. There's value there, seeing that steal is under the 4 they allow. You can get the full 4 at plus 1,000 on Hard Rock. So you can get 3 for 320. You can get 4 at plus 1,000 on Hard Rock for Van Jefferson's receptions today, which is in that wide receiver 2 spot. They're also giving up 40 yards receiving. His line is only 12.5, and he's averaging 21. So I love that 12.5 line. But again, we're here for the gems. So you can get 25 at plus 240. Plus 240 on FanDuel is your best line. You can get 30 at plus 275, and you can get the full 40 at plus 570 on FanDuel. So there is value in his receptions. There's value in his receiving yards. The most value is, of course, his receptions. Seeing that 4, they're giving you at plus 1,000 on Hard Rock today. Plus 680 is the next best odds on FanDuel. But seeing that big difference between plus 1,000 and plus 680, if you don't have Hard Rock, I wouldn't even do it because you losing so much value. You literally, it's a 320 difference in there, which is a lot of money. That's potentially $320 difference playing the same prop on two separate books. So seeing that big difference from plus 1,000 to plus 680, if you don't really have Hard Rock, I wouldn't even do it. I would just probably go receiving yards route and take that value. Who is this? Pat. So they're giving up, and it makes sense. We see that they gave up so many passing yards to quarterbacks, so it would make sense that all these positions that catch the ball should be in spots to catch because they're giving up those yards. So same here. They're giving up 5 receptions to tight ends on 56 yards receiving. His line is 2.5. They're giving up 5. You can get 4 at plus 148. You can get the full 5 at plus 280 on FanDuel, right? So you can get 5 receptions at plus 280. Hold on. Okay, now his receiving yards, so we can see where is the best value at here. 40 is plus 180. 45 is plus 245 on Bally's. Plus 50 is plus 300. And then you have to go to 60. So let me see which one. So there's value in his receptions and receiving yards. The most value is in his receiving yards. Seeing that it's the plus 300 over the plus 280. You can go whichever way you want, but the more value, or as that gem piece of being at that plus 200 or higher, is in the 50 receiving yards today for Pat at the tight end spot. Okay, we move. There's more gems to be found. All right, so they are giving up 23 yards. Who is this? Browns versus New Orleans. So New Orleans are giving up 23 yards rushing to the quarterback position. His line is 10.5. He just had 27 last game. So again, you don't have to take that. But again, my job is to find the value for you. So you can get 20 yards at plus 250 on ESPN best today for Jameis Winston rushing yards. That's as high as I would go. So yeah, so there's some value there if you into that. They're also giving up 80 yards. Oh, that's not bright green, but again, they're giving up 80 yards rushing, but the bright green spot where the weakness is at for them is 22 yards receiving to running backs. His line is 6.5, and again, that's because of they're looking at these. But he has a pattern: good, bad, good. Then he coming off bad, bad. So he might get more touches today. But again, I don't overthink it. I suggest you not overthink it. Just let the read make sense for you. Live with the results. Simple as that. This the simple side, as y'all say in stream. You can get 15 yards receiving at plus 225 on ESPN bets for Nick Chubb today. You can get, they're giving up 21. You can get 20 at plus 400. So there is some value in Nick Chubb receiving yards today over on ESPN bets without going over 20 yards receiving, starting at 15 yards. Again, anytime you can get to plus 200 odds or higher without going over the average allowed by the defense, you are in gym territory. Jerome Ford, they are giving up 29 yards rushing to the running back 2. He's averaging 32. So again, he's green. This side is green. So the 12.5, love it. Both of them, both lines is damn near double to triple his actual line today. So I love this 13 line, but again, we here for the gym. So seeing that they're giving up 28 yards, 15 yards is plus 115, 20 yards is plus 200 on ESPN bets, and 25 is plus 325 on Hard Rock and ESPN bets. And then you got your FanDuel and DraftKings, but again, the best odds today are on Hard Rock and ESPN bets for this. And of course, you got to pay attention that his carries and attempts is going down because Nick Chubb back. But again, I'm just looking at the read. It's not like you can't get it. If they're giving up the yards, they're giving up the yards. So just keep that in mind. But again, that's the point we do this. It's a super big slate between two sports. I teach all this every day, day in and day out. This is how you kind of like narrow down the slate so you're not crazy overwhelmed. Find your spots. You know, good is good. But when you tell yourself, I'm only going to rely on great, it'll narrow down what you're dealing with, and then you can just go from there and play process of elimination if need be, right? Give up good for great. Give up good for great. So even if you on the fence about something, if you on the fence about it, move on to the next. Jerry Jeudy. Saints are giving up 32 yards receiving. Oh, that's long. I'm tripping. Okay. That long keep throwing me off, and you can't take it off. Because most books don't have that, so I don't even go over it. And that's for your longest reception. How long would a reception be? All right, so the Browns are giving up 22 yards rushing to quarterbacks. His line is 2. He's averaging 5. They're giving up 22, so this 1.5 line, I like it. Again, when both sides are green, and then both sides are bright green for this. You don't see that a lot. All I need is both sides to be green to look at your line. I need the defensive side to be bright green when I'm looking at alternate lines for gym pieces. They're not even giving you an alt line on that, but that 1.5 look crazy, which is minus 110 on BetMGM and Bet365. And then your next best line would be DraftKings. So 2 rushing yards is crazy, seeing that he's averaging 5 and they're giving up 23. So that might be a nice steal there for something super cheap. So keep that in mind. All right, this boy went crazy last week too, Valdez-Scantling. We are giving up, as in Browns, I'm saying we, that's the Cleveland in me, are giving up 5 receptions and 84 yards to the wide receiver 1 spot. His line is 2.5 receptions. So 3. You can get 4 at plus 325 on Hard Rock, plus 310 on FanDuel today for him. And you can get the full 5 that they allow at plus 630. So you can get 630 at for 5 receptions and plus 325 for 4 receptions. And stuff like this. Like we just seen another reception ladder with, what was his name? Van Jefferson. So you take like Van Jefferson plus 270 and this plus 310 plus 1,000 out the gate. It just be that simple when you're looking for these gems. You don't need to go over 3 to 4 legs, if 2, to get you some super value to make you a 10-to-1 odd parlay plus 1,000 or higher, right? So, hold on. So we can go up to 5 at plus 630. Now let's see if it's more value here. His line is 30 yards receiving. They're giving up 84. 45 plus 225. It's going to be So 50, you starting at, you can get 50 yards receiving at plus 265 on DraftKings. 60 yards receiving is plus 425 on DraftKings. 70 yards receiving is plus 650 on DraftKings. Mind you, y'all, we still ain't went over this 80 yards, 84 yards that they're giving up. So this is a good ladder, seeing all these good odds that we're getting, and we're not even at the threshold of what they're actually allowing on average. And then the full 80 plus 1,000. So this is a great, so now seeing that there's more value in his receiving yards ladder than his reception ladder. But again, there's value in both. Go which way make you more comfortable. But seeing the odds, once we've went to the max of the ladders without going over the number allowed, there's more value in his 80 yards receiving. And I don't know if y'all kept up with it or not, but he had a breakout game last game. I'm not sure why, because something got to be injury-wise, because I don't recall him being the wide receiver one, the main receiver. But whatever the reason was, him and Derek Carr was clicking last week, and he went crazy. So keep that in mind. He got, 3 targets, caught all 3, 109 yards, if you care about that. So he's in a good spot today, going up to 80 yards at plus 1,000. That is a gem. That's a gem for sure. We're giving up 29 yards receiving to the wide receiver 3 spot, which is Mason Tipton as of now from the way their depth chart is set up. His line is 20. So, of course, you can go see how far you can get, 25 to 30. So it's no super value here. I told you, once I get to the threshold of what you allow, and I'm not at least a plus 200, that's what I consider the gem pieces. Taysom Hill, I didn't too. Is he like an extra running back? All right. We move. I'm so used to reading chat, y'all. I keep doing this. That's how I miss y'all, man. I can't wait till tomorrow morning when we go live at 9:30. This just don't even feel the same. They're averaging 16 yards receiving. He hasn't ran in 3 games, but again, you can see if you can get some value here for him. You can get it at 15 they allow. You can get 15 yards rushing for Jordan Love at plus 275. Keep that in mind. So there's a little value there in his 15 yards. The alt line. We move and see, look, I'm telling you, when you hunt defensive weaknesses, aka bright green, look at how we getting through these games, and you're not forced to look at every single person. It'll stand out to you when you see bright green every time, and you'll be able to get through these games. You might have one person, maybe 2 people in the game, so it's a lot of games on, but you just trying to pull the spots where the defenses have weaknesses, and you betting for potential that a person can exploit that weakness. You're not necessarily trying to look at everybody's stats. It just helped me and a lot of people in the streams, and they've told me it helped them narrow down these slates. They're giving up 16 yards receiving to the running back 2 spot. His 15, which is the max, is at plus 200. There's some value there, a little value there. It's not much. Again, that's good. That's good, but we can find great. We found, looking at Valdez Scantling and all that, you're gonna find great spots. Give up the good for the great. Cole Kmet. The Packers are giving up 40 yards receiving to the tight end spot. His line is 24.5. He's averaging more than that. They're giving up more than that. So, of course, this 24.5 is a good spot. Just his line itself for a straight bet or a parlay piece. That is a good spot. Now, if you're looking for Jim, you can get 35 yards. What is it for? Okay, so it's not no super value, because in order for me to get to plus 200, I had to go to 40 yards. You can. Some people would say they're giving up 39. What's 1 yard? I have PTSD from 0.5 losses, so I'll pass. But I do like his line, though, because both sides are green. He's averaging more than his line today. They're giving up more than his line today, so I do like the 24.5. But I'm not finding that gem piece. Again, you notice when I start contemplating, it's no. If it don't make so much sense to me, it's like an automatic given, I'll pass. That's what I be meaning, passing up on good for great. If I even got to contemplate, I'm right there on the border. No, next. It's too many games. Between two sports today, we got 22 games. It's too many games for me to have to do that. All right, so next piece I'm seeing from Bright Green is the Jets are giving up 22 yards receiving to the running back one spot, which is Jonathan Taylor today. His line is 9.5. He's averaging 15. They're giving up 22. The 9.5 looks good today. Love this spot. If I'm looking at, and then like I said, it's bright green. We want bright green over here, but when it's bright green on your side, that means you averaging way more, just like they're giving up way more, right? So that even make the 9.5 even more appealing. But let's see where the actual value is going to come in at. And it isn't any, because again, I'm already at 20. They're only giving up 22. I'm already at 20 and I haven't seen a plus 200 yet, unless you have Bally's. But again, that's fine. Nice little parlay piece or a straight bet. This 9.5 look good, like good money. He's averaging 15. They're giving up 22. Love that 9.5 line. Michael Pittman. It looked like he due for a good game. Always, like they say in the stream, you know what I'm saying? Buy low, sell high. And what that mean is why we don't focus on what the player do, because you kind of hoping that they've never done it or they're on a cold streak so that the books will lay off of them and lower their lines because of their recent performance, right? The more they're playing bad, the books are always, oh, what have you done lately? So when you playing bad, your natural line, like say a person like him, say his line usually is like 40 yards receiving. By him having these couple bad games, it done went down to 31. That is the best spots to catch them in, because you know that they're due for a good game, but you caught it at a low price, meaning you caught it when the books laid off of them a little bit and dropped their line because they're not playing well. But when you see the defensive weakness is in a spot for them to be able to have that bounce back game, that's when you pounce on it. Pause. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Never said it again, Banner. Ever. No Diddy. But that's when you attack. Because there's no way I could have said that any way I use that shit ain't gonna sound right. That's when you attack. You get what I'm going. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? That was weird. So look, they're giving up 58 yards. You can get 50 yards at plus 240 at DraftKings, plus 235 on FanDuel. And you can get 55 yards if you can get that anywhere. I'm not going to go to 60 because they're only giving up 58. So you got some value here at this plus 240 on DraftKings today for his receiving yards. Michael Pittman, seeing that they're giving up 58 yards to the wide receiver one spot. Damn. Mo Ali Cox. I don't like this game. This game is bringing out a lot of weird noises and words. But damn, this is what we live for. Y'all know that. His lines are low. 1 reception, 1 yard receiving, 1 yard. This everything about this game is like bring it up. Now, be very careful with him. I'm not sure. Like, what is his role in this offense, or is he hurt, or I don't know. Like 0 targets is crazy. But again, I would keep close eye on this because he has crazy value. From 3 receptions, no alt line. You can get this 25 yards receiving at plus 600. They're giving up 34. So it's some value there if you want to take that chance on him. I don't know what the situation is with dude. He hasn't even had targets his last couple games. Like he went from 4 to 1 target, and no targets in 2 games in a row. So be very careful. This would be one of the ones, if you do take, you just got to sprinkle on, because you definitely, the read is there, but he have no type of stat to back it. Y'all know I don't care if you got the yards, but I need to see you can be put in position to get him. Like, this worries me that he's not getting no targets. But again, the read is the read. Fuck around, don't play it, and he go out there and they target him all game. I don't know what the situation is with Buddy, but just be on the lookout for that. Granson, the tight end too. Now he getting more targets than the other one. Like, I don't know. They're giving up 10 yards. They're giving up 10 yards receiving. His line is 1. What is going on? So yeah, I'm not sure, chat. He's actually chat, YouTube. I told y'all, man, I'm used to talking to y'all. I'm not sure what's going on here. His line is one receiving yard. He's had 4, 22, 15 these last couple games. He's averaging 8. They're giving up 11. Is this like a dumbass line? Like he even actually get targets. I'm not sure, but this 1 yard receiving for Granson, I'm gonna have to take this. Like, I don't know. That's very weird. Um, okay, we move. All right, stop here. We got us some bright green. They're giving up. Oh, that's this throws me off, y'all. It make me think it's yards, but it's not. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, see, like you're gonna have to have like one of the other books that most states don't allow to get that prop. So I'm not gonna even focus on it. Who is this? Gibson. Um, his line is 6.5, which is crazy because he's like got 0 yards in plenty of games. But I think that they're taking into account this as well. Because why is his line 6.5? They're giving up 18. You can get 10 at plus 110. You can get 15 at plus 175. So it ain't even really no value here neither. These some weird lines. I wonder if that one receiving yard line is real. Conklin is in a good spot today for receiving yards, according to this. Colts are giving up 40 yards receiving. His line is 25. He just had 43 games ago. If you care about past trends, you can get 30 at plus 150. You can get 35 at plus 210 on Bally's, and you can get the full 40 at plus 290 on Bally, plus 260 on FanDuel, plus 240 on DraftKings. So keep that in mind for Conklin. Receiving yards, there is value going up to 40, starting at 35. So 35 or 40. Anything under that, you got you like a parlay piece. But as far as like those gym pieces, it's starting at 35 yards receiving. And Jeremy, the tight end 2, his line is they're giving up 16 yards receiving. His line is 7.5. He's had 16 yards. Oh, he's had it once. Well, I'm gonna say 15 because I'm sure that's probably where it's gonna be at. Oh no, you got to go from 8 to 25. Negative. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. All right, we're getting through these games, y'all. Like I said, how far are we in? 33 minutes in. I'm trying to get through these games for y'all. It's easier doing it now because I don't have the chat to answer questions, so I should be able to get through even a bigger slate faster because y'all know what we identifying. Straight, bright green, defensive weaknesses. We gambling for potential, and not what you've done lately. Settling. We're not settling no more. We're done settling. So the Lions are giving up 23 yards receiving for in the last 10 games. Okay, 20 yards receiving. His line is 15. That just changed. I don't know what I was looking at. So that 20 yards receiving, you can get at plus 130. Again, them nice little 3-4 leg parlay pieces, but it ain't that gym that I know you watching for that we find every day on stream. Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver 1 spot. And again, if you're new, you don't necessarily identify a name. So a lot of people when I'm streaming, they'll say, well, that person is questionable or he might not play. The good thing about researching like this on doinksports.com that I'm using is it's versus the position. So say Brian Thomas Jr. don't play, right? Just using him for an example, and they throw somebody else in there at the wide receiver 1. This don't change. They still give up 80 yards to the wide receiver 1. The QB1, cornerback 1 for the other team who checking the wide receiver 1 on average is giving up 80 yards receiving. So always remember that. No matter what they do with the lineups, how they flip them, once you come through here and research it, you know what they give up to that position. So no matter what they do, all you care about is who at the wide receiver 1 spot for the Jaguars today. Even if it's not him, whoever there, they allow 80 yards receiving to them. And then all you got to do is, according to that person line, come back on here and just see if it's value in their line without going over 80 yards receiving. So it's about position, not player. I try to stress that a lot so people understand that it don't matter if they swapping people sitting out, it's to that position. You can get 65 yards receiving at plus 230 on Hard Rock. Now you into that 2-to-1 odds or higher, right? Now you can start laddering from here. if the value suits. So you got 230 here, and then you got 245 here for what's that? So and then you got 80 at plus 425 on Hard Rock. So it's a little value in here. It ain't the biggest ladder to where we was able to get crazy odds, but all you really need is that 2-to-1 odds or more. Gabe Davis, they're giving up 6 receptions and 64 yards to the wide receiver 2. His line is 2.5 receptions, so they're giving up 6. So you can get 4 at plus 154. You can get 5 at plus 310, and you can get the full 6 that they allow at plus 800 on Hard Rock. You don't got Hard Rock, you're gonna have to go all the way down to plus 550 on FanDuel. But it's value here in it's value in his receptions. All right. And for his receiving yards, his line is 30. They're giving up 64. 50 you can get at plus 300 for receiving yards, and what they giving up 64, so 60 you can get at plus 390. So the value is in his receptions. There is value in his receiving yards, but y'all know how we do this. Once we find the value, whichever one got the best odds is the more value. So the more value is in that plus 800 reception for 6 receptions than it is for 60 yards. But again, it's value in both. You go whichever way fits your style or what suits you better. If because I know some people like receiving yards over receptions because you can go a whole game without getting your receptions, and then you finally get 1 or 2, but you either run after catch or you catch it far, and that'll cover your whole line off one catch. Whereas a reception, you have to catch the ball. So some people look at it that way. It's easier for them to cover receiving yards than reception. So whatever works for you. I do them both. Whichever, I'm going to always go with the value wise. Who is this? So they're giving up to the wide receiver 3 spot. I'm going to stop saying their names. I'm going to just say the wide receiver 3 spot. 12.5 yards his line. He's averaging more than that. They're giving up more than that. So I like the 12.5 receiving yards for Parker Washington already. I'm trying to see if we can get us some value as far as a gym. 25, which is what they allow, is plus 215 on DraftKings. So you can get 25 yards receiving for Parker Washington at plus 215 on DraftKings. That's where you're starting your value at that plus 200 odds. These are, again, we only researching for alt lines going up. We're not worried about going lower, playing it safe, looking at minus 300 odds. No, we want the gems. Golf, again, like his line is 1. You do what you want with that. I'm going to stop looking at these receivers. If your line is 1, I'm not even going to focus on that. David Montgomery. The Jaguars are giving up 25 yards receiving to the wide receiver 1 spot. His line is 11.5. Love it. He's averaging 18. He's literally like, even this 24 that they're allowing, I love this 11.5. Like, he is out there catching the ball for sure. Like, and he's doing what he need to do. He's doing what he need to do. So 11.5 is his line. They're giving up 24. You can get 15 at plus 115. You can get to 20 at plus 185. You can get 25 at plus 245 if you want to go up to the full 25 yards. But so you can go up to 25. That's where you're going to start getting the value at. But his line, great straight / parlay piece. You getting that at minus 110 on Bet365 and BetMGM. That 11.5 receiving yards for David Montgomery. Love it. He's averaging way more. They're giving up way more. Love it. All right, so the wide receiver 3 who ends up being this Tim Patrick guy. His line is 15.5. He's averaging 21. They're giving up 29. Another line where it's like, it looks like, again, he's averaging more than his 15.5. They dropped his line because of these last 3 games. Guarantee you his line wasn't 15.5 after these 2 games here. I wish it was a way you could see what his line was, but I bet you his line wasn't this. It might have been like 20. So they're giving up 29, 20 yards, 25. So there ain't no crazy 29. Oh, you go to 30. So 30 yards receiving is plus 260 on ESPN bets. Again, That ain't the greatest read, seeing that I had to go over the 29, but I do like his actual 15.5 line for sure. But it ain't the greatest read for a gym. Um, Brock Wright, who's the two? Whoever the hell that is. He hasn't been producing, but this might be a game where he can. They're giving up 4 receptions to his position to tight ends. You can get 3, no, you can get 4 at plus 475 on Hard Rock, plus 360 on FanDuel. His line is 15.5 on receiving yards. You can get, let's see where you can get the value at. 30 yards receiving is plus 260, 47. 40 yards receiving is plus 490 on FanDuel. And that's as high as I'm going. So seeing both of those, for 40 yards, you get it at plus 490, or you can go to 4 receptions for plus 360. Both does have value today. Seeing the read as far as the defensive weakness, the Jaguars, what they allow to the tight end 1 spot. Keep that in mind. Try not to put no emotion into this. Let the read do the talking. Let the read do what the read do, and you go from there. It's a lot of stuff that we look at and be like, man, that ain't hitting, and then it go out there and hit because the read made sense. Once you start putting your 2 cents and your emotion into it, that's where things start getting cloudy. So just try to like I said, just lock in. Hold on, make sure I ain't tripping. Again, like you're gonna see some spots like this. Green. It ain't bright green, so I'm not gonna stop on it. But when you see these type of spots that tell you that whatever the line is for the day, that look like a good line. Now you can start going in and filter however you want or however you will research it after that. But just how to catch your attention, it ain't bright green for me to even entertain for alt lines. But he's averaging way more than that 24 yards. They're giving up way more than that 24 yards. So that 24 yards look good for DeMarcus Robinson. Again, I'm looking for these. I need bright green spots where I got room to look at your alt lines and find gems. The whole point of this, I can't stress enough, is to find value that'll keep me from ever going over 4 legs on a parlay. I'm trying to be able to get to plus 1,000 or more without going over 4 legs. And the only way to do that is if I can get into the plus 200 or higher odd range. And for me, I've come to figure out that works best, or you got your best chances when you see bad defenses in any sport and you attack a player exceeding their line in that given situation, taking advantage of the weakness that they're going against. That's why I attack weaknesses in defenses only. That's the only thing I'm looking for. What do a defense allow in every sport possible? And I try to attack those spots. So his line 20, they're giving up 40 yards receiving. 30 yards receiving, so 35 yards receiving is where you're starting to get your 2-to-1 odds, plus 260 on ESPN bets. And then the 40 is plus 410. That's a good read. It ain't a great read because I had to go over what they allowed. That's why this went from bright green to red, because I'm at an alt line that's over that average. That's what I told y'all. Like, I know when to stop, because once I get to an alt line and it turns this red, that automatically indicates to me that I went over it. 35, look, we back green. His actual line of 20, we dark green. So Davis Allen, the tight end 1, I like his 19.5 line. It's not no super value unless you're looking for like a plus something just to add you to like a 3 or 4 man. But as far as Jim, what y'all here for, nah. They're giving up 24 yards receiving. The Rams is to the running back 1. Let's see, 24 yards. So look, I got to go to 25. I mean, that's 1 yard if you want to take that plus 210. Again, that's a good read. It ain't a great read for me. They're giving up 80 yards rushing. So the full 80 yards rushing is plus 295 on Bally's, plus 235 on DraftKings, plus 225, plus 275. And that's taking the full 80 yards that they're allowing to running backs, running back 1s. So it's a little value here in Stevenson's rushing yards and his rushing yards. It wasn't really no value in his receiving yards. Again, What I've learned, if you afraid to take his rushing yards, if you afraid to take his receiving yards, just scroll on over and take his rushing plus receiving, which is 80 for him today, and they're giving up 104. Same as basketball combos. If they green for the rushing and they're green for receiving for the running backs, if you afraid or you're not comfortable taking one or the other, take the rushing plus receiving. Take the combo. Most people don't even know that that's an actual prop. All right, Demario Douglas. So the Rams are giving up 71 yards receiving to the wide receiver one. His line is 37 and a half. Again, for receptions and receiving yards, they're green on both sides. They're allowing more than his line. He's averaging more than his line. So I already like 3.5 receptions, 37 and a half yards receiving. I already like them both because he's averaging more as his line. We want the value. So let's see if we can get value without going over this 71 yards receiving today. And it's going to start at 60. So 60 yards receiving is plus 300 on Bally's, plus 255 on DraftKings. Oh, and plus 260 on ESPN, but I'm looking at the best odds. And then the full 70 is plus 400 on DraftKings. So there is some value and ladder pieces for Demario Douglas receiving yards without going over 70 yards receiving today, seeing that that's what they allow to his position, to the wide receiver one spot. They're also, we got another spot. Who is this? Kayshawn. His line is 34 and a half, which they do have as an underdog, which is perfectly fine. Those are spots you want. He's averaging 41 yards receiving. They're giving up 58 yards receiving, which is both over his line of 34 and a half. So finding this at plus money is actually a good spot. 40 yards is plus 124, 58, 50. So yeah, so you got to go up to damn near 55, and only Bally got it. The next one you're going to have to go to is 60, which I'm not. I'll pass on good for great. So if anything here, unless you're just trying to make you like a little three-man, because remember, like this plus 115, like plus 124, you only need 3 of those, and you got plus 1,000. So 40 yards receiving, you got you a nice little three-man piece to add to get you a plus 1,000. His line is plus 108. The 35, you would need like 4 of those. Generally, like if they lines, you probably gonna need 4 of those to get the plus 1,000. But again, if you either the minimum you go is their line or up, you won't have to go over 4 legs. You're not gonna start going into 4 legs till you start doing this. Oh, his line is 34 and a half. Well, I'll just take him for 30. Or I'll just take him for 20 to play it safe at these minus 300 legs. Now you look up and you at 10 legs to get to a plus 1,000 because you're taking those terrible odds. So that's the key to this. That's what we're trying to wrap our minds around, finding value to avoid us having to use a lot of legs to win us some money. Again, I'm not going to stop on these, but it's like a given. If you see green on the offensive side and green on the defensive side, the actual line, which is this number that's right here, should automatically be something that you're looking into. These, we're looking for the gems, but those are still straight bet / parlay pieces for y'all. I don't have to stop on that for you to know that. Oh, somebody taught me something. Hold on. You ain't about to give you like, yeah. Shout out to the cousins. I love y'all, man. I tell y'all all the time, as well as I'm helping y'all helping me. Somebody show me how to figure that out. If you know, you know. Y'all probably like, what is he telling me? They seen what this was going on. All right, so Alexander Madison. The Dolphins are giving up 67 yards, let's say 70, because that's how you're going to have to round it anyway. They're giving up 70 yards rushing to the running back one. His line is 43 and a half today. We should be able to find some value. That's why you find bright green, because that means it's a big difference. So that means we should have some alt lines that we can play with to see if we can get us some value. So you can get 50 yards at plus 125, plus 140 on FanDuel. Again, these like plus 140, you take 3 of those, boom, plus 1,200, 3 legs, in and out. So 55, so 60 is plus 290 on Bally's. most don't have that, so I'm gonna just focus on these. Plus 260 on ESPN bets, 200. So now we in that 2-1 odds. This is where we like to be at because you only need 2 of these to get the plus 1,000. You only need 2 plus 2 and some changes to get you a plus 1,000. Now you done figured out a way to get a 10-1 with 2 legs. So that's why I love starting at the plus 200 range. 3 of those is like damn near plus 6,000. You understand what I'm saying? They're giving up 67. So we can even look at, oh nope, they're making us go to 70. So you could take the 70. I do like this little plus 200, plus 225 for 60. I do like that for sure. I do like the 60, seeing that they're giving up 67 yards rushing to the running back 1. Same here. Zamir to the running back 2, they're giving up 30. He's averaging 21. His line is only 15 and a half. You can get 20 at plus 135. You can get 25 at plus 210 on Hard Rock and ESPN bets. It's nice little parlay piece. That's cool. But that value, that gym worthy, you're gonna have to be on ESPN bets or Hard Rock. That's where you get in the 2-1 odds instead of 175s. You in the plus 200 range for 25 yards for Zamir Wright. At the running back 2 spot. So keep that in mind. We move, and again, this is easier for y'all probably as well. If I'm going too fast, this is a recorded video, so you can play pause as much as you want. If you even think you've seen something that I may have missed, I'm human. Y'all got the leisure this time to be able to instantly just go back, look. So that should work in your favor. And I'm trying to get it out soon as possible so that y'all got time to actually watch it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm not looking at nothing that got to do with rushing with Tua. You don't need to be running anywhere. All right, so the Raiders are giving up 90 yards rushing to the running back 1 spot, Divine. His line is 61 and a half. They're giving up 90. Where does the value kick in at for the gym? 80. You can get 80 at plus 205 on Bally and ESPN bet. 85 you can't get. 90 is plus 300 on ESPN bet, plus 230 DraftKings, plus 250. So you basically gonna have to max them out unless you have Bally's bets where you can get the 2-1 odds there at 80. If not, if you just on your general, like your regular recreational sports books that most have, you're gonna have to go up to the full 90 that they're allowing for him today to get those 2-1 gym odds. Good, not great. 20 yards they're giving up to the wide receiver 3 spot, Beckham. He's actually starting to get more targets. So, like he's getting acclimated into the offense. His line is 10 and a half. They're giving up 20. You better off just taking this line if you like it. Like I'm going up to the 20 that they're allowing, and I'm still in the plus range. But again, these little plus 110, 175s, 3 of those plus 1,000. So I'm not saying, again, I think it should go unsaid that if I go say for up to 80 yards receiving, everything under 80 yards is fair game, right? Like I don't think I got to actually stop and say, well, you should take this or you could take this. If I like a person like say for 40, every alt line under 40 without going under his actual line, fair game. Fair game. I'm just trying to see if I can identify those gems for y'all that we love so much that we can over exceed in. But again, any line that I'm willing to take, every line under that is fair game. So who we got here? We got Tennessee, Minnesota. So Tennessee is giving up 29 yards rushing to quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is running. He's averaging 20. So his line is 11 and a half. Love his 11 and a half line. He's averaging more than his line. They're giving up more than his line. So I love that 11 and a half. Let's see if we can, what they giving up, 28? 25. So 25 yards rushing for Sam Darnold. We in gym territory. You getting it at plus 320 on FanDuel. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you're a person who care about past trends, y'all know how we look at it, how I look at it. I see nothing on the offense. I don't care about nothing you did. But if you do, he's gotten 25 yards twice, including last game. If that's something that will make that a deciding factor for you. But it's value in his 25 yards, seeing that they're giving up 29 yards, 25 at plus 320, Jim. So that's the please don't say I clicked that. I did. All right. So there's your first piece out the gate in this Minnesota Tennessee game. All right. Next up, we got Jalen Naylor. His receiving line is 12 and a half. He's averaging 22, bright green, because it's damn near double digits number of yards that he's over it. They're giving up 24. So you can get 20 at plus what they're giving up, 24. So 25 you would have to go to for plus 225. That 1 yard might not hurt you. It'll hurt me. So to me, that's a good read, not a great one. I would be forcing it. But again, if you're looking at it like they give up 24, what's one more yard? That's why I still go to it for a person who don't care and they willing to still take it. So it is value. This is where the value start at for 25 yards for him. But I damn sure love this 12 and a half. He's averaging 22 and they're giving up 24. So I love his actual line at 12 and a half, which is minus 110, damn near across the board. That is a great straight bet or 4-leg plus 1,000 piece. Bright green, where you at? Come on. We hunting. Here we go. Westbrook, him. Yeah, that. Y'all ain't about to clip me. Y'all love catching me fucking up these people's name. So the Vikings are giving up 5 receptions and 60 yards receiving to the wide receiver 2 spot. He's averaging 3 and averaging 28 yards receiving. So I like his lines, but again, we want to see if we can find Jim. So here we go. So for 4 receptions for Westbrook, you can get it at plus 200. You're starting to get your 2-to-1 odds at 4. We still under that 5. So if you want to go to 5, which is what they allow on average, plus 400. So there's value starting at 4 for 4 and 5 receptions for this wide receiver 2 spot. They're also giving up 60 yards receiving. 40 yards is like plus 195. 45 yards is plus 230. 50 yards is plus 330 on DraftKings, plus 290 on ESPN Bet. So this is where the gym is coming in at. And then the full 60 is plus 500. So there's value in his receptions and his receiving yards. The more value is in his receiving yards. 60 yards is plus 500. The full 5 receptions is plus 400. So, right? Yep. So keep that in mind. But there's value in either or. Again, you take what you like and what makes you more comfortable. If you like receptions over receiving yards, go that route, and vice versa. Just know that it's value there, and they are giving up way more than his lines is today to that position. Okongwu, his line is 17 and a half. He's averaging 24 yards receiving. They're giving up 28 yards. So again, the 17 and a half look good, but again, we want to see if we can get some value here. And you're not, because the next line would be 30, and I'm not going over that. So they're parlay pieces from without going over 30, but even his line, like I said, is 17 and a half. 4 of those, you have plus 1,000 for this tight end 1 spot. The tight end 2 spot, he's averaging 16 yards receiving, but it looked like only Prospects got this. Yeah, so never mind. Only Prospects got that. We move. What we got here? Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos. Hold on, make sure I ain't forget. All right. Okay, here we go. So to the running back, who the running back won? Oh, BJ. Okay. So to the running back 2 spot, the Broncos are allowing 3 receptions, 25 yards. His line is 1 reception and 1 yard receiving. And that could be because he hasn't got a target in 3 games. But again, let me see. They're not okay, which I should have realized. You usually not gonna get an alt line when somebody's line is 1. Again, there is value there. Can a day be the day where they just drop them off one because of the way that this defense is set up for running backs? I'm not sure, but it's value there. I'm not gonna say value there. It's a weakness in their defense. Value is off of the odds, and we don't see the odds as far as the alt line, so I can't say value, but it's a sneaky spot. I'll say that based on the defensive weakness to that position and his line for the day. Let me see. It ain't bright green, so it might not be a big enough difference to get it. Yeah, and that's again why you look for bright green, because that means you're gonna have a lot of alt lines you can look at in the ladder in there to be able to get that gem. Again, when y'all see green on both sides, instantly your eyes should be looking at these people line. We doing this for the gems like this. Adam Trautman. Falcons are giving up 4 receptions and 44 yards receiving to the tight end one spot. His line is 2 for receptions. You can get 3 at plus 410. Well, damn. You can get, is that 4 at plus 1,000? You can get 3 at plus 410. You can get 4 at plus 1,000 for Adam Trautman receptions today. That is crazy. His line is 7.5 receiving yards. They're giving up 44 yards. You can get, starting at 20, you starting to get 2-to-1 odds. At 25, you can get it at plus 470 on FanDuel. And for the full 40, you can get at plus 1,200. Adam Trautman, so far, ladies and gentlemen, is the Jim Jim. He is the Jim Jim. Now, I've seen a couple. Don't get it twisted with the plus 1,000s. So it's pieces, but we ain't seen a plus 1,200 yet. He is the Jim Jim. Right? And again, his line was what? 7.5. His line is 7.5 yards receiving today. I like that spot again for many reasons. Because the Falcons again are giving up that to his position. All right. We move to the tight end 2. Why would my phone be going off? Twitter is relentless. They don't give a damn what time it is. Y'all remember what time I told y'all it was. Okay, so we have Seahawks versus 49ers. Finding our bright green gems. Okay. Zach to the running back 2 spot. They're giving up 26 yards for rushing. His line is 11.5. 20 yards rushing is plus 225. Plus 225. I need to go to bed on ESPN bets. 25 yards is plus 295 on DraftKings. And you're still you're at the kind of at the threshold. We didn't go over it, so that's a beautiful thing. So you do got some spots for Zach. You do this 25 yards receiving for Zach, whatever that last name is. There is value there. Hold on. Okay. Debo for 6. No, it ain't bright. And again, this is why I say bright, because look, you see how it's like kind of green. His line is 5. That's 7. So like they're not gonna give. Well, look, I take that back. But it's only on Hard Rock, which most people don't have, and that's probably why, because Hard Rock been slipping. So you can get 6 receptions today for Debo at 225, which is what they're allowing to the wide receiver 1 spot. We got Chiefs Buffalo, which should be a close game, even though I ain't been looking up here. 2-point spread. They got this settled by a field goal. All right. 35 yards receiving for Kareem Hunt. He had 10 targets last game, which is crazy. Um, His line is 15 and a half yards. So again, he's averaging more. They're giving up more. That should be a given. If you're looking for like a little solid piece, you can get 25 yards receiving for Kareem at plus 240 on FanDuel. So now there we go. We in that gym area. 30 yards is plus 375. And I'm not going to go up to 40, seeing that they only giving up 35. So this 25 yards on FanDuel, two of these plus 240s, you at a plus 1,000. So keep that in mind as far as Kareem Hunt. There is some value there. So keep that in mind. All right. We move. All right, who is this? So the Bills are giving up 43 yards to the wide receiver 2 spot, which is Xavier Worthy. Who is that wide receiver 1 then? Oh, should have known. All right. So 43 yards, his line is 25. You can get 35 at plus 185. You can get 40 at now you in that 2-1 odds for 40 yards receiving today. At plus 235 on FanDuel, plus 215 on DraftKings, plus 250 if you have ESPN bets. So 40 yards receiving for Worthy is where you will start getting that, what we consider that gym value, 2-1 odds or better. Seeing a date to that spot that they're giving up more yards than his actual line is today. Dawson Knox. So the Kansas City to tight ends basically is where they're allowing you to cook at. His line is 3. They're giving up 5 receptions. You can get that 5 receptions at plus 300 on FanDuel, gym piece. Seeing what the read is telling us from what they're allowing to defenses, they're also giving up 54 yards receiving. His line is 30. 40 yards, 45. What they giving up? 40, 54. So 50 yards receiving is plus 290. So hold on, what was this one for 5? So clearly the value is in. I mean, it ain't far off. It's only 10. One at plus 300. Y'all see this? Yeah, one at 300, one at 290. It's in its receptions, but I guess it's a toss up there. It's only 10. So whether you go to the 50 yards receiving or the 5 receptions, there is value there seeing what the defense allows to tight ends, which is hence bright green. So keep that in mind for Dawson Knox. Again, I hope y'all taking y'all notes, y'all writing down y'all pieces, y'all putting in y'all plays. And then here is Sunday Night Football. Oh, brother. Something about them prime times I cannot get with. Okay, so out the gate, the Chargers are allowing 25 yards rushing to quarterbacks. Joe Burrow is averaging 17 yards, so this 9.5 line I like, seeing that he's averaging well over that. They're giving up well over that. You can get 20. That's under. Yep, you can get 20 yards at plus 325 on ESPN bet. You can get 25 yards, which is basically what they're giving up, 24.7 at plus 540 on FanDuel, plus 350 on DraftKings, which is a drastic drop. If you're going to take it, FanDuel or nothing, you're losing out on too much money with that big difference in odds. Remember that. That's why it is so good to line shop. That's why I love Doink, because they brought all that to you on one page. You can line shop every line on here off one page without having to leave. Okay, here we go. Andre I like this kid. He always in sneaky spots. So they're giving up 26 yards receiving to the wide receiver 3 spot. His line is 16 and a half. He just had 25 yards last game. So again, this is a parlay piece. As long as you're in that plus money somewhere right here, it ain't the biggest. It's not a gem because without this is what they allow. So it's a good piece for sure for like a parlay piece. Get you like 3 of these again. You at plus 1,000. Again, these are pieces where the line should stand out to you. You see in green on both sides. It's not bright green, like it's not a crazy difference as far as looking for us to be able to find potential value in their odds. But green on both sides, that should indicate to you that that's a start as far as looking for that prop. Now, if you're a person who like to look at home or versus the team, then you do that part after. But at least that should identify and grab your attention out the gate. The Bengals are giving up 33 yards rushing to running backs. Justin Hibbert is averaging 19 yards. Another line, 14 and a half. That should be good to you. Where you see both sides are green. But to see if this, let me see, they're giving up 33, 20, 25 yards for Justin Herbert rushing is plus 240 on FanDuel. There we go. We starting to get to those gem odds we like where we can find us valuable pieces. He's had this 25 yards in 2 of his last 3 games. 30 yards is plus 360. So there is only on FanDuel, ESPN bets, and Bally's. You getting that 2-to-1 odds for 25 yards rushing. Seeing that he's gotten that 2 of the last 3 games and they're averaging 33, that's a nice gem piece that you might want to tap in with. But again, we're gonna keep going. This will help us narrow down this slate when we're looking for our gem pieces. Hayden Hurst. I don't know. I'll look. No. And I'm glad. So that is and then it's Monday night, right? Okay, so we are completed with the NFL side of this. What do you call this shit? That Sunday night football looked at as expected. Ass. All right, so now we over to basketball. We making great time, y'all. We only an hour 14 minutes in. Generally, I know the big slate like this live would have took about 2.5, 3 hours, but I'm able to get through it more. Knowing that y'all have the option of play, pausing, and rewinding, I can still get through these slates. So now we over to basketball. First game is at 3:30. I haven't looked at the totals, which I will now, so I can kind of gauge and see, is this 219? Where is this landing at for the day? It's a low total anyway. We do know that. But I'm trying to see where, let me see. So 219. This is actually one of 2 of the lowest today. So it's one of the lower, and again, that comes from pace of play, average points, a lot of different things, injuries, a lot of different factors go into it. You got a 7-point spread, so just be mindful of that. We're not at that double-digit point, but again, you're getting there, so just be mindful. Last 10. Okay, matter of fact, yeah, leave it on last 10. What I haven't been using the filters. What I have been doing is this. Like if it'll tell me like without players, right? Like for sure out. Durant, apply the team. I'll do that. And then on the defensive side, if they don't have anybody, which I just learned, we cool. But that's the only filter I've been using. I've been taking these reads for face value, and it's been working out well for me and you guys for sure. So again, same thing. This is where it all started. Bright green. If it ain't bright green, I'm out of there. Ryan Dunn. His line is 8.5, which they have favored it to happen. Seeing that I'm assuming because he's hit that the last 2 games, and of course I got it on without Durant, even though that don't matter to me. They're giving up 15 points to power forwards. 10 points is plus 105. The full 15, you getting that plus 400. There's value in Ryan Dunn's 15 points today. On Hard Rock. And again, I always explain to y'all, don't worry about if he's did it or not. You got to look at how he hasn't done it. He had 9 points, missed 9 shots, should have had 15. Had 10 points, missed 7 shots. Should have had 15. 8 points, 3 or 5. He wouldn't have had it there. He could have had it 8 and missed 3. Like, you gotta pay attention to that. Don't get caught up in what they actually did. That's what you want. That's debate because the books already got the line set around that. You kind of hope that they didn't do it so that you can catch the value in it when they have a game where they actually do. He can't just keep missing all, miss 7, miss 9. He's due for a good game. And from according to this, seeing that they're giving up 15 points to power forwards, this should be and could be the game. So that's why you research for potential to get your value. So plus 400 for Ryan Dunn points, love it. Seeing that they're giving up those 15 points. They're also giving up 3 assists. I'm not sure if they'll give us, they'll give you 2, but on ESPN bets, if you want to take the full 3, you can get 3 assists at plus 1,100. Again, stop paying attention to, he hasn't had 3 assists. 3 potential assists. He should have had 3. All 3 people he passed it to missed. Should have had 3. 2 of the 3 people he missed it to missed. So he give himself enough chances to get 3. He should have had 3 assists the last 2 games. He can't help, or we can't help making the read that when he passed it to you to score, you missed it. I just need to know that you actually take the initiative to pass it to motherfuckers. Or when you see somebody open, you make the right pass to give them an open shot. They just got to hit their shot. So you do with that what you want. Again, I always tell y'all, get out the habit of taking alt lines that's lower than their lines. So seeing that they're giving up bright green points and bright green assists, if you want to play it safe, just come over here. I don't even have to come over here, but just in case, if you want to, take points and assists. They're giving up a lot of points. They're giving up assists. So if you don't want to take one or the other, take his points plus assists, which is 9.5 and favored it, which makes sense because that defense gives up a lot of points and a lot of assists to power forwards. So if you want to go a safer route, just take points plus assists combo. We move. All right, Mike Conley. Mike Conley is in a good spot today. Now, remember, this is what I just learned too, though. So this is super dope that just as well as we can come over here and say, let me see your stats on offense without certain players in the lineup that's not playing. We know Durant not playing. This will adjust how they defense look without a Durant out there. And it did just change some stuff. I don't know what the number was, but it changed it. That is super dope that I just found out on stream like 2-3 days ago when we was live. So now at least I can see that for this whole game, all these games, I can see stuff that they're doing when Durant is not on the floor, what they're still allowing. And again, they're giving up 19 points to point guards. They was giving up 20 with Durant, 19 without him. So you still bright green. His line is 9.5, so we can get the plus money starts at the 15. The gym. So 15 points is plus 350. On FanDuel, 19. You can get 18 points at plus 750 on DraftKings. This is a nice ladder piece. From the 12, if you want to go that route, me personally, I tell you all the time, 2-1. So for me, it's the 15 and the 18. And then if you want to, you can go up to the 20 and see it's at plus 1,200 on Hard Rock, 1,100. But 15s and that 18 at them odds, that's nice ladder pieces for me to play by himself. If you want to parlay them, you can. But me personally, like when I get value like that on a person in a good spot, I just ladder them by themselves. So yeah, so there's the value there. And okay, no more bright green. We're making good time. This is going to be a good game. This is one of the higher totals of the day, but also a 3-point spread, which indicate closer talent, closer type teams, which should ultimately give us all our minutes from our starters. So we can, we have a better chance of hitting our props. So out the gate, and I think the people who in my stream day in and day out every morning, we're starting to see the trends of like, without even looking, we should have known, attack point guards against the Pacers. Simple. Attack point guards against the Pacers. They give up a lot of points and assists all the time to point guards this year. They're giving up 22. His line is 12.5. They literally just played. That's crazy. You can get 15 at plus 155. You can get the 18 at plus 340. And you can get the full 20 at plus 600. So 18 and 20 is where the value is at for Scary Terry. Again, seeing that they're giving up 22, whether you take it or not, this is value that goes according to the read. That's it. That's all. What you do as far as what decide if you pull the trigger is to your own liking. But to the read, this is where the value's at, and the value is undeniable. Seeing what they allow to point guards. They're also giving up 6 assists. Now, here's a game, too, I also want to see. We know Jimmy Butler out, so we can take that. All right. And is there anybody over here that's like main players? Neesmith and Nembhard. All right, boom. So we can kind of see better stats on the defensive side when it's starters. Now, if it's just anybody, I don't notice, y'all, I'm not checking anybody. I'm checking people who I know are starters that would have 25 plus minutes where it matters when you pull that person out of that offense or that team, how the offense and the defense reacts to it. So if you notice, don't go in here and start just checking off everybody you see day to day or none of that. No, just only starters who you know have good minutes and are a big part of that team. You know what I'm saying? Like Neesmith and Nembhard, them are starters. So that's 25, 30 minutes for two players that you got to take out. That's going to adjust everything. So they're also giving them, like I said, the 6 assists. They'll only give you up to 5 at plus 155. So no, so the value is only in really, like I said, is points. Okay. What was it? Oh, is Jimmy Butler coming back today? I'm like, why I don't see his line? I'm not sure, but again, they are giving up 6 rebounds to small forwards. So depending on who's there, you might got some value. If it's Jimmy, you're not gonna have it. Kevin Love, they don't know if he gonna play Bam. See, like it's good to know how Bam is playing. You know what I'm saying? When Jimmy ain't on that floor. He's average. His line is 3.5 assists, y'all. I love this line. He's averaging 6. They're giving up 4. And if you look at his potentials, he always become a more of a playmaker. He'll score like he balled out the other day. But he becomes a big playmaker in their offense when Jimmy not out there. 13 potential. He could have had 13 assists. Like he should have had a triple-double. He had a double-double the other day. 30 and 11. He should have had 13 assists. 6 people missed though. So he ended with 7. But he, if you know, you know. With Bam, he always becomes more of a playmaker when they're out. And again, so now that they're on the offense, let me get them same 2 people out, apply to everybody over here. And on defense, take Jimmy out. See how everything changes on both sides when the star players are out? That's one filter I've been using. Outside of that, goddamn. Ben Shepherd, he's back in that spot again, y'all. His line is 6.5. They're giving up 20. They stopped giving him the ball. He started good. I'm like, oh, I'm about to cash this ladder. Then they stopped giving him the ball. So 10 points. Again, it's 10 plus 220 on DraftKings. 12 points is plus 425 on DraftKings. Nobody is giving you higher than 12 points. Maybe later, like they'll give you a 15, might open up, but right now you're only going to get the value in 10 and 12. And look, he ended with 8 and missed 4 shots and 4 threes. He could have cashed his whole ladder last game. And again, you know, we go, look, 4 threes they're giving up. And he missed 4. He shot 6. So that is true. Y'all pay attention to this. This how you know this to be reading. They give up like hella threes, right? They're giving up 9 threes. Pay attention. He shot 3. He shot 4. He shot 4. He shot 2. And then all of a sudden he shot 6. So that tells you, like, it's telling you that they give up a lot of 3 attempts. 9 attempts on average. They give up a lot of 3 attempts to shooting guards. And even though he didn't shoot 9, what's the coincidence out of the last 5 that game is the game that you shot the most you shot in 5 games in? They're going to give you opportunities. For sure. So they're giving up 4. His line is 2. You can get 3 threes at plus 360. So the most value was in what? 425. Okay, it's 12 points. 12 points got a little bit more value than 3 threes. And then they're giving up 4 assists, which he had. 3 assists is plus 260 on Hard Rock, plus 230. So you have value across the board in his points and his assists. And then again, if I do this, let me see, reset his lines. Bright green points, bright green assists. If you don't want to go points, you don't want to go assists, take his points plus assists. Seeing that they're giving up way more in both categories than his line is. That would be like the safer route for you to go. Okay. We're moving, y'all. Another one. Higher. This is the highest total we've seen so far out of the 3 games. 4-point spread. Closer game. Let me get my minute. Let me see. Without players, again, you see what I'm saying? All these day-to-days. And then even if it say out, nobody checking for Cody Zeller. So I'm not going to even worry about that. It's only if you a person who I know means something to that team this season and now you're not playing. So I don't have to worry about that. Defense without player. Like Simons, we know he's a starter. He matters. See, things change with him. The day-to-days, if you want to go back in once they officially say people are out and do it again, you can. But just to start, this is how I do it. That's the only filter I've been using. All right, what the value at? What the value at? Where you at? All right, Clint Capella. They're giving up they're not going to give us all lines yet. Oh, they will. You can get 3 assists at plus 750 on Hard Rock. They're giving up 5 to centers. You do with that what you want. I'm just here to try to find the gems. Don't say it can't happen because they all professionals. Anything can happen. And it happens all the time. And people be like, I would have never expected that. Scoot. Oh, no, hold on. Without players. Let me see what's going to happen now. Yeah, exactly. Look at how all that shit went green when Simmons ain't out there. However you say it. So they're giving up 7. Nothing really like as far as a gem. But you do see spots, y'all, that's green on both sides that you can attack these lines. I'm going to just say that. Ain't no like super gem where we got a bright green spot, but shit changes for him. That shit went from red to green real fast when he's playing all those minutes without another big piece in that offense plan. Okay, here we go. Kamara, 22 points they're giving up. His line is 9.5. He's averaging 13. You can get 15 at plus 420 on FanDuel, plus 390 on DraftKings. Okay. He's gotten that, and he got a pattern. We always talk about that. Off, hit, off, hit, off, you fill in the blank. And then even then, like, look, 15 points. He got it there, he got it there. He had 11, missed 4 shots, should have had it. Had 12, missed 5 shots, should have had it. So don't think of it like 15 is out of the realm. He could have had 15 the last 4 games. So keep that in mind. And then they're giving up 22, 18. So you can get 15 at plus 420. You can get 18 at plus 950. This is a super gem. This is great value for a ladder for Kamara's points due to the fact of what the read is telling us. Atlanta Hawks is allowing to small forwards, right? They're also giving up 3 threes. So again, our job is to figure out if we can get higher than that 950. So you can get 3 threes at plus 475 on DraftKings. They're also giving up 4 assists. His line is 2. And you can't get between, I got to go 3 or 5. And 3 ain't really much or none unless you want a parlay piece. So the most value is clearly in his points. But there is value in his points and his threes, whichever one you decide to go. This is a good game that you might want to do that in because think about it again. I total. So them points got to come from somewhere, right? So this is a game where you really identify threes and points if the read makes sense because of that. Like it's high, y'all got it as a high scoring game. Where are these points coming from? Grant. They're giving up 6 rebounds on 10 chances. He's averaging 4 with 7 chances. So his line is 4. You can get 6 at plus 320. 6 rebounds is plus 320 for Jeremy Grant. Seeing that they're giving up 6 with 10 rebound chances. And again, a rebound chance, if you're new, is anytime the ball bounces off the rim and come your direction. Whether you grabbed it or not, because of course there's other people over there as well. That's what a rebound chance is. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into that. If you look up top, it's a pinned video where I go over the ins and out of how to use Doink if this is your first time here. For the ones who in the stream day to day, every morning from 9:30 until during the week, you know exactly how this go. What happened? Um. So yeah. Okay, they kept it how we had it. Cool. So yeah. So there are ways you can do different things on here, and they never give his lines to the last minute. Pay attention to him because he been kind of like doing some shit. And they're giving up 9 rebounds on 16 chances. He had 12 with 30 chances. So be careful. Watch him. It's black and white. Oh, look, now they coming in. Whenever a person lines are not up on the books, that's when you see it like this. Because they don't have a line to compare it to see if it should be green or red. All this green or red is tell you that it's an eye indicator of, oh, they did more than what the line is, or red is they didn't hit the line for that day. So watch that dude right there. He in a sneaky spot. I missed some value on him last time because they always sneak that shit in. So without players, I just always come and see Nick Richards. That's somebody who was a starting center who's actually played this season. If they hurt and they ain't even played this year yet, ain't nothing gonna change. They ain't played. You haven't even played for me to see. So they've played without Nick Richards. Let's see without players over here. Any of these niggas. Let's say Donovan Mitchell not playing today. Really? Is that for real? So of course that's gonna go back to last season. Uh, I'm, I'm not gonna do that because I try not to be too far into last season. I'm not gonna do that. You can, but I'm not. Um, Nick Richards is current, so we move. We gonna see where their defensive. Okay, so uh, shout out that boy Josh Green. He won a lot of people money yesterday, and I'm telling y'all, you have to understand. I love examples like this. You have to understand. Trust the reads. He was in a spot like this yesterday where it was bright red for points. And so many people seen it with their own 2 eyes off here and didn't play it because 0 points, 2 points, 2 points, 0 points. They paid attention to he ain't he's not scoring. He's not shooting the ball. His 10 points, if I'm not mistaken, was damn near like plus 600. 15 points was like plus 1,300. And people passed up on it, even though the defense yesterday was allowing like 19 points to his position. It was bright green because they care about what have you done lately. They look at, oh, you never hit that in the last 4-5 games or this season. Let's see. Matter of fact, this season, this is the first time he done hit that 15 points. I keep telling y'all, career highs, season highs, those terms are around for a reason. Any given game, a person can get it. So a lot of people missed out on that value yesterday. And it was like damn near plus, I want to say 1,600 for 15 points because of these numbers. And the books didn't respect it. But the read made sense. So you got to trust these reads. I don't care who the person is. So you can get 10 points for plus 250 at plus 255 on DraftKings. They're giving up 14. You can get 12 at plus 500. I'm not going to go up to the 15. 2 threes. Let me see. Plus 210 on ESPN bets. They're giving up 2 threes on 4 attempts. So the most value really is like in his points going up to that 12, I think it was, at plus 500. Keep that in mind. Rebounds. Okay. They're giving up 7 rebounds to centers. And look, pay attention to this. I was trying to see if it was going to change. Sometimes it changed. So he's actually rebounding more than he's playing center. He's getting a lot of rebound chances. He averaging 6 on 13 rebound chances. They're giving up 7. So I already like the 4.5, seeing that he's averaging well over that. They give up more than that, which is at minus 122. I love that line. You can get 6 at plus 170. You can get that 7 that they're actually allowing at 260 on BetMGM. Even it's 9.5, but it's not a super gem. But again, at both sides green, like the line. All right, boom. Now I definitely gotta see. I know it ain't gonna be this season, but this matters because I feel like our core is the same. I wouldn't do it if the team changed, but this team that we have is the same as last year. So that's why I'm okay with seeing Donovan Mitchell on this offensive side. Even though you're going to last year, we have the same exact team. And I don't look at the offensive side anyway, to be honest. So y'all know that. Without players, take out Nick Richards in this defense. All right. They're giving up 5 rebounds to point guards. He's averaging 3 on 6 attempts. You can get 4 at plus 180. You can get the 5 at plus 380 on DraftKings, which is what they're allowing on 9 rebound chances to point guards. For Darius Garland, Okora is averaging, I mean not averaging, his line is 8.5, which is plus 125 on Bally's as your best line. They're giving up 16 points, 2 small forwards. You can get 10 points at plus 180. You can get 12 points at plus 240. So this is where that gym piece starting to come at plus 2-1 odds at 12 points. And the full 15 points is plus 800 on FanDuel. So keep that in mind. For Okora, they're also giving up 4 rebounds. You can get at plus 185. Again, if you don't want to take the points, seeing that it's green points, green rebounds allowed, and green assists, you can go PR, you can go PRA, you can go PA. You know what I'm saying? You can mix up the combos. When you see multiple props are green, that should indicate a safer route if that's what you care about is the combo. Okay. And be very careful. I forgot to announce this. Double-digit spread. So this has potential to get out of hand early. So be very careful with that game. Y'all know I'm big on that, paying attention to the spread and the totals, because nothing worse than losing your bet because it's a blowout and the player you need don't even play all their minutes because they sit the whole fourth. So remember, that was a 10.5 double-digit spread. So that game can potentially get out of hand. Just keep that in mind. They don't have nobody lines up but jokers because they don't know who gonna do. They don't even know who playing. So what's the spread here? Decent total, 228, 2-point spread. That's a good game. That should be a good game that come down to the wire. Let me see. Are they without any good? Okay, without Ja. All right, let's see without Ja. And then over here without Aaron, I know that you a big part of that offense. Okay. Just want to make sure shit look realer. All right, so they're giving up 20 points to point guards. This is how he's played his last couple games too without Ja. He could have had 20 a few times. His line is 10.5, which is favorited on DraftKings at minus 120, which makes sense seeing he averages 12. You can get, let's see where the value starts. 15 points, plus 300 on BetMGM, plus 265 on DraftKings, plus 230 on FanDuel. So the value that we like, starting at 15 points for Scottie Pippen Jr. today, and they're giving up 20, so you can get 15 at plus 300. You can get 18 at plus 650, and you can get the full 20 at plus 825 on Bet365 or plus 700 on FanDuel, which are, again, ladder pieces. Again, we just following the reads. They're giving up 20 to point guards, so going all the way up to the 20 that they're allowing on average, you have great value there. They're also giving up 4 rebounds. His line is 2.5. 3 is plus 150. Nice little parlay piece. 2 threes. Might not be no. Yeah. Oh, you can get 2 threes at plus 200, which is what they're giving up. 2 threes on 6 attempts. He done had it 2-2. He done shot. He coming off a bad game. So guess what? The next one gonna be boom. So yeah. So keep that in mind. So the value for Scottie is in his points today. Scottie Pippen Jr. points, no Morant. That's good to know. Gems. Okay. Brandon Clark, he's been playing this center position. So again, nobody's in the chat, but I'm starting to learn my stream. So I know somebody would ask, so I'm gonna act like somebody asks. What about if Edie start? What about it? I keep telling y'all, fuck the player. This is based on defense versus centers. So even if Edie start over Clark, we know that they're giving up 16 points to whoever the center is that's starting. It's on you to figure out which one gonna give you the value based on their line without going over 16 points. So like 10 points for Brandon Clark which he should have had damn near every game except for this one. 3 for 5. He missed 2 shots, had 6, had 9, missed 3 shots, and he's shooting threes. But 10 points is plus 300 on DraftKings for Brandon Clark's 10 points. 12 points is plus 600, and 15 points is plus 1,300 on Hard Rock. All these points that I just went to with this value is all under the 16 that they're allowing. They're also giving up 8 rebounds on 15 rebound chances. His minutes going up, his usage is going up, his rebounds is going up. His line is 4.5. They're giving up 8. You can get 7 at plus 400. You can get the full 8 at plus 750 on DraftKings, which is what they're allowing. And he's averaging 8 rebound chances. Just grab your boards. So there's value in his points and his rebounds. Again, I can't stress enough. Bright green points, bright green rebounds, go points plus rebounds if you don't want to or not comfortable taking the actual one of the two lines by themselves, right? All right, 229, 5.5. Should be a decent game. It ain't too crazy spread. The total up there, it ain't in the under 220, so you got free game. So again, I just always come. I just want to see if it's anybody that makes sense. I don't even think Thompson played this year, so he won't matter. And I don't think none of them niggas played. Okay, so no, we good. So let's see. First on the board is I was about to say Jalen Duran. That's crazy. Jalen Duran for 20 points. His line is 10.5, which is favored. Again, our job is to see if we can get gems. We got 15 points at plus 320 on DraftKings. And you can get 18 points at plus 800 on DraftKings. And then the full 20 plus 1,100 on Hard Rock. If you're not going to take that on Hard Rock, don't even touch it. Seeing that it's so much of a difference between 1,100 and 800, that's $300 if you $100 better. That's $30 if you a $10 better. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. If you're willing to take it to the max, which is fine according to what they're averaging, if you're not going to take it at plus 1,100 on Hard Rock, don't even do yourself the disservice of playing that plus 800. You're missing out on so much value on that. Okay, so there's value in Jalen Duran's ladder pool. Make sure. Okay, we good. All right. They are giving up 7 assists to point guards. His line is 4.5. You can get 6 assists at plus 150. Nice little 3-leg piece. You can get the 7 that they're actually averaging or giving up at plus 260 only on BetMGM. They're also giving up 4 rebounds, which is plus 170 a good. Again, these little plus one anythings, 3 of those, you have plus 1,000, 10-1 odds. Whatever you wager, you're going to win 10 times that amount. That's good enough for me over and over. Give me 10-1s. I don't have to go for 100-1s plus 10,000 odds every time. I'll just stack up these 10-1s off of the reads. Just need the reads to read. When the reads is reading, it's a good day for everybody. Carlton Carrington. Bub. Shout out to Cuzos. Bub. I say his name so slow down because they be on it. His line is 8.5. He's averaging 9. They realize he could have had 8 damn near every game if he just hit some of his shots. So I love his line at minus 118 on FanDuel, but they're giving up 16, and we here for 10 points plus 120. Again, 3 of those in and out. 15 points is plus 500. 15 points is plus 500 on FanDuel, and clearly 13, 10, 10, and you missing a lot of shots in them games. You could have had 15 multiple times. Yeah, Bub could have had 15 multiple times. So that is a good spot. We already seen the value before you try to take it away. Too slow. So something's happening. Nothing here, nothing there. So yeah, we actually doing good timing, y'all. I'm gonna get y'all this out, and it looked like around the 2-hour mark. I was expecting to go 3 or more, just seeing how big the slate was. But again, I'll be having to remember that that's the best part about sticking to a certain way of researching and sticking to it, and by me being the one that like I stick to just weaknesses, I can get through these. Let me see. Any of these players, Nick Claxton, you be playing. So we need to see what go different without you. Any of y'all. No, that Mitch Robinson. I don't even have Mitch. I don't even think he played this year. All right, so we go. 7 rebounds. His line is 5. Will you get some for Cameron at this? Oh, they're not even giving you his all lines anyway. Okay. Well, yeah, there's that for him. Dorian Finney-Smith. They're giving up 12. His line is 8.5. I doubt it. Yeah. But I like his line at 8.5. He's averaging 10. They're giving up 12. His threes line is 1.5 or 2. Again, so seeing that they're giving up Green in points, rebounds, and assists, if you're afraid to take any of these, like far as the actual line, because none of these is alt worthy as far as like looking for a gem, take his PRA. Points, rebounds, plus assists. Call it a day. They're giving up 15 points to centers, and that's Ben Simmons, which I don't have any alts. Just want to make sure because they after I did that glitch, I feel like I'm not seeing no alts. Oh my god, my subscription is over. All right, without players, we got to see what that defense is like without Claxton in there. All right, bet. I don't be again. I and people be asking why you leave it on that. I don't even look at it honestly. They're giving up 5 boards. You might. Okay, you can get 5 rebounds for Jalen Brunson at plus 215 on DraftKings. You can get it at plus 215 on DraftKings. 6 rebounds for Mikhail is plus 165. I love his 4.5 line. He averages that with 8 rebound chances. They're giving up 6 with 10 rebound chances. His line is 4.5, which is minus 120 on ESPN bets. I love that line. Again, you got me when you're both sides is green. Josh Hart, they are giving up 20 points to small forwards. Oh man. Excuse me, y'all. It's late, early. 18 points for Josh Hart is plus 350. The full 20 that they allow is plus 600. So you got some value here at plus 350 and plus 600 for Josh Hart to go out there and have him an out of body today. I ain't gonna even say really out of body because he's shooting more and he 14, 14, 16, and even then he could have had 20 a few times. So I ain't gonna say out of body in disrespect. They're giving up 2 threes. His line is 0. So 2 threes is a parlay piece. So yeah, the value is in Josh Hart points. That's what we getting the value at for Josh Hart today. It's his points. We move for assists. His line is 2. We can only get 3. 160 again, a 3-leg parlay piece. They're giving up 7 rebounds. He's been rebounding crazy. So he's averaging 7 with 12 rebound chances. They're giving up 7 with 13. So I love this 5.5, which is minus 120 on DraftKings and ESPN Bet and BetMGM. A little minus 122, a little less value on FanDuel. It ain't crazy, but again, this is why we line shop every one. Everything matters. So I love his OG rebounds, especially if Karl Anthony Towns, they do decide not gonna play, you're gonna have to jump on that because I guarantee you, if he don't play, that 5.5 rebounds for OG is gonna jump up to like 7.5, 8.5. If he getting 6 with the center in there, it's gonna adjust. So keep that in mind. Okay. This so far might be the highest total, 5 point. Another great game that you want to target and find you some gems in. Make sure that these people are not playing with nobody that's important. Definitely without Chet. They've only played 3 games without Chet, so that ain't enough. All right, I'll leave it as is. All right. 3 games ain't a big sample size for us to get a good average read. Again, you can play pause when you see double greens and be like, oh, hold on, I seen double greens. By all means, those lines. to get through these games and try to narrow these players down. Y'all know if it ain't bright green, I ain't stopping. Case and Wallace. Dallas is giving up 15.5 points to the shooting guard position. His line is only 6.5. His minutes is going up, which means his shot attempts. So, again, they're giving up 15 points. You can get 10 at plus 215. 10 points is plus 215 on DraftKings. You can get 12 points at plus 24.25 and 15 points at plus 1,000 on Hard Rock. Again, do not play 15 points on BetMGM if you see that this book, another book, has it at damn near 400 odds different, 350, right? So plus 1,000. So there is crazy value in Casey Wallace or whoever starts at shooting guard odds, as long as those odds stay close to these without going over this 15 that they're allowing to shooting guards. They're giving up 2 threes. So 2 threes is plus 230. There's value there. They're giving up 4 assists. And I like him because he got the potentials. He could have had 4 there, 4 there, 4 there, 4 there. He should have had 5. You know what I'm saying? So the potential is how many assists you should have had if every time you pass it to a person, they made the shot. So 3 assists is plus 210. I like his 3 assists, which he's had 2 of the last 3 games. 3 assists at plus 210 on Hard Rock and BetMGM. There's value there. And again, we got to go to 5, which I'm not doing. But there is value in Casey Wallace 3 assists on BetMGM and Hard Rock. Again, seeing bright green points, bright green assists, go to points plus assists and call it a day if that's what you may be into. Oh yeah, we ain't doing that because of right. Okay. You ain't gonna get no games. Okay. Where am I at? How many more games do I got? Is this where I'm at? 2 more games, y'all. Yep, we almost at this. We almost there, y'all. We at the finish stride. Get this uploaded for y'all, and let's make some money. Tag me later when we cook. Steven Adams. Without players, do any of these people make? No. Damn, sure ain't worried about no. Ball. I got down Lonzo Ball. Okay. 4 threes to shooting guards. His line is 2.5. Got you a parlay piece with the plus 165. No super gem. Where them gems at? Hold on. What was the total here? I'm sorry, y'all. 4.5. Oh, this is the highest total for sure today. 233, 5-point spread again. Even so, and when I tell you these the games you want to attack, just because we don't find a gem, don't mean these ain't the games where you could take advantage of these lines where it be double green spots. You know what I'm saying? It's just like anything that you feel is a good read in these games. These be the ones if you got 10 people and you trying to identify like, damn, which ones do I keep? Lower spreads, higher totals. Remember that. The ones that look like they're gonna be the best games, as far as like the spread low and the totals are higher, those will be the ones if you got to play process of elimination. And in this game, it looks like it's going to be a lot of their lines. I haven't found one real gem. They're giving up 6 rebounds, but his line is 5. So I doubt you can get, you're going to get like one. We're going to be able to get, you will be able to make like 3-leg plus 1,000 in this game for sure. Like that was a plus, for 5 rebounds, it's minus 125. I want the 6 rebounds, what they allow. That's going to take me into the plus odds. And I can find 3 spots in this game. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense on both sides. It might not be a plus 200 or higher gem, but like you still gonna find spots. For instance, like Dylan Brooks, like his assist line. He's averaging 2. They're giving up 3, and his line at 2 is plus money. You just can't be afraid to take it when the read makes sense. Yeah, so like they're giving up 3 assists. He averaged 2 assists. But to get 2 assists is plus 135. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to take advantage of those in these type games for sure. And last but not least, be careful. You got a 220, which is one of the lower totals, and you have a 10-point spread, which indicating this can get out of hand and be a blowout fast. So a Walker might come back, so I'm gonna leave that alone then. And are y'all without anybody that made sense? No, they ain't played. Okay. So they're giving up, the Clippers are giving up 21 points to point guards. And look at this. He could have had 20 there, missed 4 shots. Could have had 20, missed 5, 9. Could have had 20, missed 8. Could have had 20, missed 8. Had 33 and still missed 10. So again, for those who need that validation of what have you done lately, there it is. Stop paying attention to what they did and see how they did, what made them not do it. I tell people that all the time. Look at their field goal. This mean more to me, your shot attempts on makes and misses than what you actually scored. Because it give me a perspective of if you still out there at least attempting to shoot the ball. So 18 points is the lowest you're gonna get where the value starts at plus 240 for Keontae, and then the full 20 is plus 400. So 18 and 20 is where the value's at if you decide to go that route, seeing that the Clippers allow 21 points on average to point guards over the last 10 games. Right? They're also giving up 4 rebounds. His line is 2.5. So I like this 2.5 at plus 130. Again, sometimes your line itself is plus money and it don't make sense to me, and I'm gonna take it every time. He averaged 4 rebounds. They're giving up 4 rebounds, yet and still his 2.5, which is 3, is plus money. And then the four rebounds is plus 240 on Hard Rock. So there's some value in his 4 rebounds, but only on Hard Rock, where we looking for those gem pieces 2-to-1 odds. He only had 2 yesterday, but had 6 rebound chances. Outside of that, 4, 5, 5, 4. Could have had 4 there with 5. You know what I'm saying? So I love that 4 at plus 220 over on, or plus 240 on Hard Rock. But it's only that gem if you got Hard Rock. Anywhere else, it's just like another parlay piece. Because it wasn't a plus 200. It was like plus 165-ish. Kessler might come back. So we still gonna look at the odds for this. If he don't, we'll take into account whoever his replacement is. His line is 6.5, which is favored at minus 120. Makes sense, seeing that he averages 10 and they're giving up 15. So that makes sense why minus 120 is favored for 6.5 points. You can get 10 points at plus 220. That is around his average and still under what they're giving up at DraftKings. And then 12 points is plus 475. Nobody is even giving you 15 points. I would love to know what his 15 points is. And I'm going to be looking for it and see if somebody's sneaking in, because I'm assuming that 15 going to be around plus 1,100 or something. And I bet you it's going to end up being Hard Rock that have it. Mark my word. They're giving up 4 assists to his position, which is no alt lines. Makes sense. Now we're looking at the Jazz defense versus the Clippers. Again, it's double greens everywhere, so you're seeing lines. They're giving up 6 rebounds to power forwards. Another dumb line. Derrick Jones, his rebound line is 3.5 at plus money. He's at plus odds, meaning it's the probability is less than 50%. The higher the plus odds, the lower you get in the 0. Right? So his line is 4. He averages 4 on 6 rebound chances. They're giving up 6 on 10 rebound chances to the power forward spot. If you look at just his rebound chances alone, not what he got, just the chances, he should have had 4 rebounds each one of these last 5 games. He actually got it in 3 of them, but even this 2-and-1, I tell y'all, I don't pay that no attention. I take that with a grain of salt. I'm looking at the rebound chances of if you could potentially do it. So I love the 4 already at plus money. 5 you can get at plus 300 on Hard Rock and plus 255, and 6 you can get at plus 600. So 4, 5, 6 for rebounds for Derrick Jones. I love all 3. All 3 is a gem. All 3 have value. Starting really at the 5 and 6 really. But I do like the 4. I love when the line makes sense and you already out the gate giving it to me at plus money. So yeah, so I think that was all of them. Yes, so that's going into Monday. So thank y'all again. We got done in exactly 2 hours. Hope this is helpful the most. I know it's helpful the most. Love y'all. Can't wait to get back live with y'all on Twitch tomorrow. If you knew, I will put my Twitch stream in the description. Again, we done covered the whole football. We done covered the whole basketball slate. Try to find as many gems as I can where we attacking weaknesses and defenses. So again, make sure you like the stream, subscribe, turn on post notifications, because on weekends, again, with me having my son, I have to pre-record these for y'all to make sure I go over the slate with y'all while he's asleep. Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. on the dot. Y'all know we live. So again, may the day be the best gambling night of your gambling life and best gambling day as well, because we do got day games. So yeah, so we back at it again tomorrow. Hope this helpful the most. Tag me on Twitter at Big Dog Banner. Anything you find, anything you like, anything you running, anything or any gem that you may find or hit later on. So again, see y'all tomorrow morning. Good luck on all your bets today. Love y'all.